Alrighty, guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for coming. Tonight we have a special guest, Diego Pereira. He is El Pantera Negra, fighting at Eternal 69 on July 17th.
Yeah.
Diego, how are you today, man?
September 16th.
September 16th. July 17th was actually your previous fight, right? It was booked
Correct.
for that. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. You're going to get a time machine and travel back in time and fight back
Man, you know what? Listen, if it was up to me, that fight would have gone ahead. You know what I'm saying? I would have been done with this guy by now.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so actually on that too, obviously, Alan Philpott, you were originally scheduled for that time. Are you kind of glad you got this one put together, mate? Or how do you feel about the matchup?
I am glad it's been put together. I'm glad we were able to reschedule, because I think it's a good opponent, good matchup to move us forward. So I'm glad it was able to go ahead.
I was going to say, he's a bit of a savvy vet. He's got a fair bit of experience. Where do you feel that he presents sort of the most danger to you?
Man, to be honest, like when it comes down to my opponents, I'm not really concerned about what they do and what they don't. I know what I'm capable of, and I know how to apply that with any opponent. It's MMA. I know I'm one of the best out there. I know what I bring. I know what I can do. So that's what I focus on.
Yeah, man. Just on that too. Like, obviously, Alan's last fight, I believe you actually cage side for that one. So against Justin Van Heerden. So how was that for you? And did you kind of look at him as a potential opponent in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you mentioned, he's an experienced guy. He's been out there. He's fought on some international promotions, so he carries some weight behind his name. And so I was cage side watching, and it's just another fighter, man, another fighter. And he faced someone whom I've beaten in the past, and not impressed.
Not impressed. Yeah. Look, how do you expect the fight to go? And what kind of, do you have a fight prediction or anything like that?
I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be looking to finish him every second of the fight, man. As the fight goes on, I'm going to use every tool I have available, and I'm going to finish him.
Get it done, man.
What are some of those tools that you're going to be using? Where do you feel you're going to have the advantage inside the cage when the door's shut?
I think, despite him having more experience than I, as like he's had more fights, I believe I, have more tools as far as like I'm sharper. I can wrestle better than he does. I can grapple better than he does. And even in the striking, I feel like I'll explore some things that he'll be surprised, man, because I think he feels like this is where his advantages lie. So I look forward to exposing him in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, for sure, man. Look, we kind of had a little bit of conversation with Alan. It seems like he doesn't, there might be a little bit of bad blood between you two. Is there some kind of history that we don't really know about, or like what's from your perspective?
I don't know. Did you talk to him?
Chris, have you got a little insight?
I had a chat to him. I know I've seen on Instagram he's gone at you a couple times, and we obviously tried to organize a bit of a head-to-head. He I don't know. He doesn't seem super happy with you. I haven't asked why, and I can't get a read on why. But I'd like to hear your point of view. You haven't heard anything from him at all?
The guy's been on my DMs for like at least a couple of years, man. And from my perspective, he's a cloud chaser. So I've been at the top of the game in Australia and New Zealand for years. He came from overseas, established himself here. So obviously, as a competitor, as a guy out there trying to build his name and move up the rankings, he's trying to look for whoever's out there who's at the top. So he's been DMing me, trying to create some sort of bad blood that does not exist. I've never met this dude. I've seen him around maybe once or twice, and he's just been calling me out. So other than that, man, he's just a cloud chaser.
On that too, Diego, it's actually kind of a thing I see quite often in, I guess, the Aussie local MMA scene is that, a lot of people calling each other out on Instagram and these kind of social media things. And, how is that kind of weird for you? How do you deal with those kind of call outs from, social media and stuff?
I don't even respond. Like I said, all I do is focus on me, man, because at the end of the day, when I go in there, that's my biggest challenge, bro. It's everybody's biggest challenge. People think, oh, my opponent's my next biggest challenge. No, it's you. it's you. Because if you're doing the work, if you're out there making sure that you're addressing every aspect of the game and you're working hard and you feel good and you show up, then the challenge is going to be performing, showcasing the skills you've been working on. That person in there is just a target, you know, it's just someone you're using to like showcase the skills and stuff you've been working on throughout training camp. So I don't even respond to any of these call outs, man, because I stay focused on me, and that's what I do.
So in your mind, do you think it's literally just he's looking for a fight? After the fight, it's going to be a shake of hands? Are you going to shake hands with him? It's no dramas?
I don't have any bad blood. Like I said, man, I don't, you know, I've never met him. I'm sure maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know. But he's a loud mouth. He tries to create drama to promote the event and trying to, you know, get into the opponent's psyche. And but he's not getting mine. So, you know, all he's doing all this talking. When we get in there, he's going no.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. Brother, just wind it back a little bit to your last fight with Ryan Gray. Obviously kind of ended a little bit in unfortunate circumstances with that, you know, disqualification. So, you know, I'm just wondering now, after some time has passed, how do you feel about that and how do you reflect on that?
I won that fight. I mean, that's the only way to look at it. I dominated. You know, anything that you can look at every second of that exchange that we had while it lasted, I won the fight. And he even said so, you know. I dominated a very good opponent, someone a former champion, who when he was reigning, he never lost the belt. A very good guy, training a very good training camp. So I showed up and I performed. As far as the result goes, obviously can't control that. You know, we're in the moment. It is what it is, but I won that fight. That's how I feel.
Yeah, like even watching it back recently, a lot of the commentators at the time too were kind of saying like, you know, it looks like a legal strike to me. Strikes around the ear and stuff like that. So you know, it's kind of it's a tough situation. But you know, can you learn anything from that kind of thing happening, or what do you take away from that?
Yeah, of course. There's you know, the moments. Just trying to be a bit wiser as far as picking the shots, you know, when you're in a situation like that, when you have the opponent sprawled out with belly down, even though the time's running out, whatever it is, you got to try to pick the right tools. That's why they disqualified me, because they feel as though I am a professional, therefore I should know where I'm in, like at all times, and which tools to utilize in the right moment. So I picked the wrong tool to use at that moment. That's why they felt I should have been disqualified. So learning, you know, that, not that I didn't before, but yeah, I got to be more cautious, I guess, when I find myself in that position. Instead of killing them straight away, I got to kind of let them survive to the next round.
Yeah, a couple things. Like the number one, it was, I can't remember quite how long it was, like 40 seconds or something until the bell. So that's, you know, that's going to be pretty gut wrenching to know that, you know,
But
an extra couple.
I think it was 10 seconds. I hear the clapper.
Oh, was it? Oh, no.
So I go, okay, the ref was on top of me already. I chose, the most deadly weapon because I felt he was going to step in. I mean, the guy had taken so much damage already prior to that, throughout the whole damn fight. The referee was too nice. But yeah, I paid the price for that one.
And just again, on you saying, you know, you're going to have to look at choosing tools better and stuff. That's a pretty fine line to walk when, you know, the aim is to get someone out of there. You don't really want to be hesitating. Pardon me. Can you explain that? How in split second decisions like that, it's got to be pretty tough to, you know, make those decisions about what you're going to use to try and finish this guy off.
Yeah. But in a grappling exchange like we were, I mean, I had his back. He was sprawled out. It's even though it's a split second decision, you can still sort of take your moment. And I mean, we drill these things every single day, day in and day out. You can definitely make better decisions in those moments. But like I said, I just chose the most deadly weapon because I felt the referee was going to step in, and I wanted to do the most damage. But seeing that, because he put himself in the position. I mean, I put him in that position, but at the same time, he turned the head. He did the thing, and I paid the price for choosing the weapon that I chose, but I could have definitely chosen to go for a choke or something of that nature. But being aware that I didn't have enough time to apply it, because I heard the clapper going 10 seconds, and I was like, I'm going to get this guy out of here now. And I know most of the time when we're in a ground and pound situation, if you're throwing multiple strikes, even if the opponent is blocking you or whatever, if it's too many unanswered strikes, the referee steps in and usually stops the fight. I had done many strikes the guy didn't answer for. The ref still let him go on. So I felt clappers going, 10 seconds, okay, continue on with the strikes. The referee is going to step in and then we'll stop it. If I had stopped striking to go for a choke, until the choke gets applied and all that stuff, it takes time, you know what I'm saying? 10 seconds may not have been enough. So that's why I chose to go with the elbow. But you know what I'm saying? But if I had minutes, then I definitely would have gone for the choke. I definitely would have gone, for other things. But given that I didn't have enough time, I chose to go with the elbow, which then, hurt me in the end. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, man, 100%. When you explain it like that, I can, even as a non-fighter, I can totally see where you're coming from, and probably hold them the same thing. Like, that just makes complete sense, man.
Yeah.
Look, man, looking at your record, bro. Like, since the start of 2020, I think you've had maybe 6 canceled fights. Is that correct? About 6.
Something like that, bro. I don't know. I don't keep count, but yeah, it's a lot of pull-ups. Yeah.
How do you cope with that? Like, how does that, obviously a lot of training camps that get ruined, blah blah blah. How does that ever play on your mind or anything like that?
You just go on, bro. It's like anything you do. If I worked some other gig or did some other thing and pursued some other stuff, whatever happened, whatever obstacle came in the way, I would just find a way to get around it, get over it, and just carry on and pursue the next thing until times got right. That's what I did. It's like, because I am a fighter, obviously, it's a different thing than most people. It's not like an office job. It's not like some other factory work that I do that it's like I miss a day, I can get another job. It's like, it is what it is. A fight gets canceled, you don't get to perform, but still, the skills I acquired during training, the hard work, all that stuff, the discipline, the growth, that all still happens, so it's not like I lost anything. I just didn't get to perform. So my mindset just stayed on keep moving forward, just keep carrying on, just keep working day by day, just like my coach tell me. So that's what I focus on, man, improving.
I think you're no, you're right. You're interesting.
No, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, man.
I think we must be on a delay here, eh? I can't even remember what I was going to say now. Your last fight before that sort of string of cancellations from 2020, Jack Jenkins. I just went over and watched that before. Very evenly matched fight up until the finish. Obviously, the first sort of 3 rounds were pretty good. He's obviously gone up to. He's got the Contender Series call up. He's on next month, I believe. Looking at that and seeing, where he's going, how do you sort of compare yourself to where he's at skill wise at the moment, and the fact that he's got that call up, is that something that you could imagine yourself getting at some point in the future?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's no doubt I feel and I see myself as one of the best around and in the world even. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not thinking locally, I'm thinking globally. I know I've been around, I know where I stack up as far as skills and mentality and everything, and it's just a matter of time. And Jack got his thing, he did his job, he earned it. That's fantastic. I'm very happy for him, and I'm just continuing with my work, and when the time comes, I'll be ready to grab it with both hands.
Yeah, so I kind of actually I guess for a lot of people that are listening maybe don't know a little bit about your story, Diego, I kind of want to highlight, I guess, some of your past. And, I stumbled across some of your Instagram posts recently about you actually finishing your high school degree or getting that done. And I thought that was super cool. So I'm curious about what motivated you to do that.
Man, we'll be honest, maybe that post didn't come through the way I wanted it to, perhaps, or maybe it did, but it kind of misled some people because I haven't yet finished. I finished one of the units, and I have one more to go. So I finished a few. I have one last one to go, which I'm currently doing right now. But that one I put up was a psychology one that I took, over months, and so I was sort of reminiscing, and then that's why I put up that post, because I got an honors in the subject in all the others before that, and I'm now doing biology, which is my last subject. And so what motivated me to go back is my future wife. Someone you guys don't know, because I like to keep things personal, but she's a beautiful woman whom has been supporting me for years now. And she's a university student finishing her degree in forensic science. And when we met, and during COVID times, everybody, everything was shut down. She's like, why don't you look to finish your thing during, in TAFE? You could do it online. And she knew that was something I was sort of thinking about already. And so she motivated me, helped me get through it and sign up. And that's how I sort of got started. And yeah, man, that's what motivated me really to do it. Just knowing that there's some information out there that I didn't have as far as understanding stuff and whatever, even though through life experience and training and all that stuff, I had learned a lot that school can't teach, but still those school teachings are still very valuable, right? Going forward for a person in terms of understanding how to think critically, how to just analyze stuff and be better within yourself as well. So that was valuable. And so that was personal development, the desire to just want to improve and go back and do right, because I didn't finish it in Brazil. So I was like, all right, I've got some discipline now. I know what the fuck's up. I know this is important. I've got the time. Let's go. So I put myself through it, and with the support of my future wife, I got it done, and here I am, almost done with it. So that's what motivated me.
Good to see, brother.
Super.
Good to see.
Super
Yeah.
good to hear, man. Super good. What, if you don't mind me asking, the reason for leaving high school before getting your full degree, was that just the moving over to Australia from Brazil, or was there something else involved there as well?
Nah, man, it was, I come from poverty in Brazil, and I wasn't doing too well in school. I just was one of those guys that just didn't care. I didn't understand the value of it. To me, nothing made sense. I was just always involved in fights. I just wanted to play and fuck around, and I was just playing games and stuff, not focused, not doing well. So situation at home wasn't great. My mom was the only one working, so she was like, if you're not gonna do well in school, go work so you can help inside the house. So I left. I was happy to do so, because I was like, shit, all right, I can get a gig real quick, make some cash, and then I could help mom out whilst at the same time supporting my video game habits that I had at the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I left, man. Simply because I had no opportunities. I didn't see the horizon as far as like, why the hell do I want to finish this? What's the point even? None of the stuff that we were taught made sense to me as far as like, okay, how do I use this in real life? How is this going to benefit me? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't have any of that understanding. To me, we were just forced to go and like spend hours sitting at this chair, looking at this person talking in front of us, and act like, we understood what they were saying. I just wasn't with it, So at the time, I my circumstances kind of forced me out of it, and plus I wasn't disciplined enough, and so I left. That's why.
Yeah, it's funny how I guess as you get older, you kind of have more of a value for education, maybe. And I guess also for me, I think like our education system, like you're talking about, is a little bit limited in the fact that it is just kind of sitting in a chair and staring at a whiteboard or whatever, or a blackboard. So I guess maybe in that sense, maybe you would have benefited from some kind of different education system where maybe more physical or involving martial arts or something.
Yeah, well, exactly. So using the experience that I had with martial arts for a long time, that's how I approach my studies, because I know that, man, when shit gets hard, I know what to do. I just work harder. I just stay with it. I just stay consistent. And I know that if I keep on with it and keep applying myself, I will get better and things will make sense and I will improve. And that's how you go. and that's how I've been approaching it, and that's, the results speak for itself.
Did you have any fights back in Brazil, or you only started mixed martial arts once you got over here to Australia?
Only started when I moved here to Australia.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And any thoughts about fighting overseas in Brazil or wherever else you might take your fancy?
I mean, wherever it takes, man, wherever it takes me. My goal right now is just to continue improving, continue focusing on what I can control, which is the work, which is the time I put in, the focus and all that stuff, and making sure that I perform to the best of my abilities each and every time. The rest, is something outside of my control. So I don't like really to think about it too much, but I would love to travel the world and fight. Yeah, for sure. Wherever it takes, when I hit the UFC, wherever they want me, I'll go.
For sure, man. Look, I guess from me, something that I always love about your fights, Diego, is how, I guess, intense you are as you come to the cage. And once you're in there, you have such a great fight face. You're very serious. You focus on your opponent. You're ready to do battle. I'm just curious, from the locker rooms to the cage during your walkout, what kind of things are rolling through your head, man?
I'm just staying focused on the work I put in. I'm just staying focused on the stuff I've been visualizing and all that stuff. We addressed, and going out there and thinking and continually being within, you know what I mean? So not allowing myself to get distracted by the noise, by the people around and the announcers and all that stuff, because that can go overwhelming. So just focus on staying within my breath, within my mind, and focusing on performing. And that's all that's going through my mind, listening to my coaches as well.
So do you practice meditation outside of fighting then? Because that's a very sort of meditation style sort of psyche to be going into a fight with.
Yeah, for sure, man. Meditation and visualization, all these things is a daily practice for me. Breathing and all these things, it's been huge for me the last couple of years. So I try my best to get it in every single day.
On that too, breathing, Diego. Can you explain what kind of breathing exercise do you do? And
yeah. So there's many different breathing protocols out there, but I've come across some different ones by reading this book by James Nestor called Breath. He goes deep into research on the breathing and different things like that. And from that, I came across with Wim Hof method, and then started researching the Wim Hof, and then shortly the cold showers and all these different things related to the cold exposure, and the heat as well. So I follow the Wim Hof method most days.
For sure. Yeah, that's actually something my friends have introduced to me as well. For those, I guess, who don't know, Wim Hof is a Dutch dude. He has the record for the longest swim under polar ice caps or something, right? Under ice water. Some crazy, yeah.
Yes.
And he just
ridiculous record like that.
What a mental, who thinks of doing that, man? Just for a laugh? Just to show that you can?
Yeah.
I know, and you'd think from speaking like that, you'd be some kind of young, fit dude, but he's a pretty old guy, right, Diego? He's maybe 50 or 60 or something.
I think, yeah, but he's fit as a motherfucker, man. He does everything. Crazy dude. It's about that. It's not just for the love of it, I think he does to seek how far one can go with the human potential. Once he started finding out about the code, exposing himself to it, feeling the experiences and all these different things, he started going deeper and deeper and deeper and finding out what more can I do, whom can I impact, and all these different things. So that's what I think motivates him more so than just a love for it.
Just while we're on the topic of breath control and all that, have you seen a lot of the city kickboxing lads do it? They do the diving in the pool and learning to control their breath that way. And I guess we've seen Kai France and Volkanovski recently use that breath control to their advantage. Is something that you've ever done for free diving or anything like that, learning to control breath that way?
No, man, I don't go into those things, but it's very similar because I can't swim.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't attempt to deep free dive, none of that. I just do some swimming here and there,
It's
but
free sinking.
never been proficient at it. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna stick to my lane. Never really wanted to extend it and learn, but I just do the breath work in different ways, and it's similar. Any way you can get the breath, as long as you discipline with it, you can get the benefits.
Diego, you've been a part of Eternal MMA for 7 years now, correct? Maybe 7 years. And so Eternal's only been around for maybe 10. So do you feel like you've kind of played a role in that promotion's progress at all? And what makes you a company man there?
Yeah, for sure, bro. I've been a huge part and member of Eternal for over 7 years, I believe. And I hold the record for the fastest KO still to this day, 9 seconds. And that's, I think, when I really came onto the scene for Eternal fans. And yeah, man, I've seen it grow, from the early days where they, were at pubs and things and only a few hundred people and not many known guys. And now they're a massive production and they're international. And so I've been there from the beginning. So I'm definitely feel like I'm a huge part of it, and I've contributed tremendously to it. And they know it as well.
Okay.
No, you're right.
I was waiting for you, Chris.
So yeah, no, this is actually one that I do want to touch on. You've been called out, man. You've been on the lips of a couple people lately. Jarrett Wilbraham, a friend of the podcast, a good friend of ours, was one to call you out recently as well. What do you think about him for a potential matchup? That would be down at bantamweight, I think Jarrett is, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not going down to bantamweight anymore, man.
No more? Done?
Nah. Again, that's the same thing. Jared, he called me out trying to move up, so I don't even pay attention.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Look, Diego, I guess everything goes your way. With your Eternal 69 fight, what can we expect from that after? What can we expect from you after that? And what's your plans for the future, I suppose?
Well, I'm gonna get the job done in at Eternal 69, September 16, and then I'm going to stay working, stay improving, go back to the drawing board, and wait for the next move, man, and keep making moves. Obviously, I'm moving up. I'm a top contender, so I'm looking for that title shot.
Ideally, not how many more times this year? The year's nearly over. How many times a year would you like to be fighting at this point?
It's hard to predict. As often as possible, at least a minimum 3 times every year. That's at a minimum. 3 to 5 is a good number, I believe. If everything goes all right, no pandemic, nothing like that.
Who knows with these monkeypoxes, eh? The monkeypox are coming, bro.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's always gonna be something happening.
Yeah.
That's about it from me. Tristan, have you got anything left to go over Diego with tonight?
No, thanks so much for your time, Diego. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
Guys, awesome work you guys have been doing. My pleasure being here, man, and I hope speak to you guys in the future.
100%. Oh, before you go, any sponsors you need to shout out? Give them all a plug so they don't get angry at you.
Man, I've got a few, and sometimes when you start mentioning, you may forget some.
That's always the trouble.
It's a thing that it's like, you know what, they know who they are. I appreciate my sponsors very much. They are all over my social media, so you guys can plug my socials and just they get attention that way. But yeah, that's it, man. I appreciate everyone, my coaches, my friends, my training partners, you guys, the media, the promoters, everybody that's involved in to make this machine run. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Diego. Pleasure chatting to you, mate.